Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, I'm here to tell you about a bunch of rather beautiful promo cards that for some reason I don't completely understand, we don't actually have at the moment. You see, it's not a particularly big secret that the promos that we get for league promos, etc., tend to be cards which were alternate art over in Japan in their sets, and then they come from their sets over here as lovely league promo cards, league challenges, league cups, and just league in general. The thing is, there are a bunch that were missing. I was having a lovely chat with a lovely Primal Lugia the other day, he who runs PokerGuardian.com, and based on that, I want to bring you just a little bit of a list of all the lovely promo cards that we don't have, and that frankly we're probably, at least some of them, never going to get. So there's 3 that have already rotated, and the fact that they've already rotated does seem to signal rather strongly that we're not going to get them, because what would be the point of getting them after they've rotated? Surely if we were going to get them, we would have got them by now. And they are Gladion, Aqua Patch, and Rotom decks. And we can actually add Escape Rope and Nestpool to that list as well. Now, starting off with Rotom decks, I just want to point out here how awesome the artwork is. It actually features a full-on Nintendo Switch. And please correct me in the comment section if I'm mistaken, but I don't believe we actually have a Nintendo Switch featured in the artwork of any other cards. Now, obviously, in the new game Sword and Shield, the Nintendo Switch is featured in the game world, but I don't think that was the case in Sun and Moon, so it's kind of a lovely little curiosity that it didn't actually exist in Alola, and yet we've got it on the artwork, except we actually don't. That's Japan. What Rotom Dex does is let you count your prize cards, shuffle them into your deck, and then take an even number of cards from the top of your deck and put them down as your prize cards. It was really good if you wanted to play something like Jirachi Prism Star and it wasn't in the prizes. Lets you take an extra prize if you draw it and bench it when it's a face down prize card. So if you search your deck and Jirachi's in your deck, you play this. It was alright if you had awkward prizes, but it was never a particularly powerhouse card. The other 2, however, really were. Aqua Patch lets you attach an energy, a water energy, from your discard pile to one of your benched water Pokemon, and it's just a phenomenal card. If we had this at the moment, and we don't, as I've said, it's rotated out, but if we did, Blastoise and Piplup would be so much better. Now, to be fair, Blastoise and Piplup is seeing a bit of play and a bit of love without Aqua Patch, and it is still a viable Pokemon, but the first attack for free energy lets you attach free water energy from your hand to your Pokemon in any way that you like. It also lets you heal 50 every time you attach a water energy using the attack, and does 150 as the attack, so make no mistake about it, it's just really good. But the thing is, you use Aqua Patch to get enough energy for the first attack, then the first attack to get enough energy for the rest of the game. It would be great for Keldeo, and frankly, every single water Pokemon would benefit from this. Plus, of course, we've got Quagsire, so actually any deck can use it if they're using colourless energy. Just Aqua Patch onto Quagsire and use the washout ability to move it to the active. My point here is, great card. Artwork, I'll leave it up to you as to how much you like it, but I do like the fact that we've literally got a couple of Aqua Patches, literal sew-on patches, that have spilt out from a box. That's kind of cool. And then Gladion. I'll take or leave Gladion if I'm honest with you. Gladion's fine in terms of the artwork, but Gladion as a card is really good. Now, it only came out in Crimson Invasion, so it has basically long since rotated. I'd say long since September, but it just let you swap one of your prize cards with a card in your hand, as long as it was a face down prize card. So it was really nice, just purely in terms of, oh, I've got something prized I really don't want prized. Oh, let me swap it out. And the fact that we don't have Gladion is kind of sad. The artwork here is fine. It's not particularly great. It's not particularly bad. It is fine. And I should mention there is one more here that has rotated out. It is Escape Rope. Escape Rope is a very nice card that just lets you swap your active Pokemon after your opponent switches their bench Pokemon with their active. It's up to them. They get a choice as to which one they use. It's rotated out. It's fine. I mean, in terms of switching, we still literally got the card switch. In terms of making your opponent switch, it's a nice little card. I mean, we lost Repel to the rotation as well, but we've got plenty of other options like Custom Catcher and Volcanion if you're playing a water deck, so it's fine. But it would be a nice card to have back. I mean, it's a literal reprint of Warp Point, and Warp Point was always very popular. It's a card that if it comes back, we will get some fun out of it. The thing that is important to note here, if we do get these cards back, they will be as alternate art prints, unless we get, say, Escape Rope printed in Sword and Shield, and then we get this as a League promo. But that's the other thing we need to mention here. If we take a look at Quick Ball, we can see that the design of the cards is different. The border of the Sword and Shield cards is different. What that means is we are not getting these cards after February. After Sword and Shield is released, as in the TCG, we know it's out as a video game. After Sword and Shield is in the card game, we've missed our chance for these promos. We won't be getting Sun and Moon era promos in Sword and Shield with the Sun and Moon border, so it's kind of now or never. As for the artwork here, it's kind of cool. It's a man throwing a rope down into a hole, well, call it what you will, to rescue somebody and get them up. That's kind of cool. And actually, there is yet one more card that has rotated, but I promise you the last two are actually in the format now. Nest Ball. You see, there was an alternate art card of Nest Ball that we just never got, which is a little bit sad. Nest Ball let you search for any basic Pokemon, put it straight onto the bench. And to be 100% blunt here, it was great. Like, really over the top great. That and Ultra Ball were our Pokemon search options for the vast majority of decks, especially non-GX decks. And the fact that they've gone away really should make us all sad. Now, I mentioned Quick Ball earlier. We've got a couple of cards, including that, coming out, which are going to save us once Sword and Shield actually drops. But for the time being, not having had that is actually really genuinely sad. As for the artwork, it's sitting next to a laptop and a turned over bottle, so I don't know what happened last night. It's fine. It's alright. I like the little picture on the wall there. It looks like it might be an Eevee of some description. It's alright. But again, it's just sad that we never got it. But I promise you, these last two cards are actually in the format at the moment, so that means there's a very good chance that at some point in the near future, we are actually going to get them as promo cards, because we generally do get the Japanese alternate art as promos, though I have just given you 5 examples of cards which unfortunately rotated out before we got the alternate artwork. And I want to start off with Adventure Bag. Now, Adventure Bag as a card is quite cool. Lets you search your deck for 2 Pokemon tools and put them into your hand. It's rather lovely. What I really like about this is that you can clearly see a choice band falling out of the Adventure Bag. The artwork on some of these alternate arts is really... there's a style to them where they look far more like they're existing in the real world, like they're actually sitting around in your bedroom, and I kind of love that there's a choice band coming out of the Adventure Bag. An Adventure Bag does see quite a bit of play. Lets you search for any 2 tools. I mean, one of my favourite uses for it is that if you look at the Fairy Charm cards that give you immunity from certain types of Pokemon, like Fairy Charm Lightning gives you immunity from Lightning GXs, and Fairy Charm Grass gives you immunity from Grass GXs, it's really nice to be able to play a variety of them, and then when you're playing a Fairy deck, because these only work for Fairy decks, you can use Adventure Bag to search it out. It's rather cool. I would like it. And finally, PALPAD. PALPAD's an important card because it just lets you recover 2 supporter cards from your discard pile back into your deck. And in Standard, we've got Lucamine, not in Expanded, it's been banned. And we've now got Cynthia and Caitlyn that we can use, which just will recover a supporter card from your discard while drawing 3 cards. So there's a lot to like about it. But there's also other options we've got at the moment. There are other cards that do a similar kind of thing to what PALPAD is doing at the moment. As for the artwork, it's open. And I know that sounds like a little thing, right? But we've had a couple of prints of PALPAD in the past. We've had Flashfire and Ultra Prism. And in both of them, PALPAD was closed. Now we get to see what it looks like on the inside. It's a little thing, ladies and gentlemen, but these little things make me happy. You should expect at some point in the near future to get the PALPAD and Adventure Bag alternate arts, but honestly, when it comes to the Nest Ball, the Escape Rope, the Gladion, the Aqua Patch, and the Pokedex, I do think it's probably fair to say we will never get them, because they've rotated out, and even if they get reprinted, and given Sword and Shield, I think a Rotom Dex reprint is extremely unlikely, but even if they get reprinted, they're not going to have the same border, and cards with the old border just generally don't get reprinted. But I'd like to know what you think about all this, ladies and gentlemen. Which one of these do you really want? Which ones are you sad we never got? Which ones are you tempted to go on eBay and try and find the Japanese prints of? Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! But please do be nice, would you? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where we talk about a whole bunch of games that don't have Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would you? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.